Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Friday. And Teri, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. And we are going to talk about breaking ancestral cycles today, and kind of what they mean to us. I mean, I think we'll give some tips and tricks and things that we've done to help break our ancestral cycles. And so if you want to grab a pen and paper, I do have some affirmations too that I can share with anybody that is just in needing of that extra guidance. And then Teri and I were thinking that at the end we could take questions.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. Love
Yeah.
that.
And Lorraine, thank you for being here. And Lorraine,
Yes.
I got your question. So I'm betting at the end we are going to have time to answer it. And Deanne, thank you for being here. And Julie, thank you for being here. Oh, Diana.
Long time
just
no see.
Yeah, there we are. Diana, thank you for being here. And the tribal dancers dancing our way into Friday. And Denise, hello. Oh, Rush, hello. So just getting going on the ancestral cycles bit of it. Teri, do you want to start out and just sharing tips and things that you've encountered and ways to heal and just any information that you can provide on it?
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is so timely, number one, Kelly. And thank you for having me on your channel.
It's my honor.
I'm so proud of Kelly, you guys. So anybody that hasn't already subscribed to Kelly, please do. I'm going to start out that way. Subscribe to my girl. So number one, part of this is physical, you guys, because we have what's called a geome, and it's in our solar plexus area. And so things that might have happened to one of your ancestors 1,000 years ago, say their village was pillaged, and that's connected into your body, your physical form. That's what you've inherited in your fight or flight response. So that's huge. Perhaps they were witches. Perhaps, there's all sorts of different things in our lineage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like our lineage is what we're healing to go on to the fifth dimension, even more importantly than our karmic past lives, perhaps. So it's a really important thing because the density is changing, the physical density, as well as the emotional and the light body language part of it. So we're really healing a lot of that. So, and then top that off with a lot of us, like if perhaps your family went through the Holocaust like mine did. There's a lot of that. A lot of us, our families went through the Depression. For us, we went through the pandemic, and we don't even think about what that does to our future generations.
Right?
So, right? Yeah. So not only are we healing our past selves and our ancestors, we are healing our descendants and our future selves. So I'm getting a lot of parallels about time shifts and dimension shifts, and in those dimensions are our past and future selves. So it's a key point on the planet to be involved in this, to healing this lineage.
Huge, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I know I have just personally I've been working years on trying to heal certain ancestral cycles in our family. Yeah. Addiction was huge in our family, and and I didn't notice it until I was probably in my 30s when maybe late 20s, but it doesn't matter when I really realized it. And and we had a cycle in our family where if somebody did something, no matter, if it was like super bad or whatnot, you would never ever confront the person
Right.
on it. You would just sweep it under the rug. And we've also had the black sheep like
Oh, yeah.
syndrome in our family. And I've noticed it, in generations going back, that there always had to be a black sheep within the family. And I think the first part of healing it is really identifying that there is a problem, and it's a generational one that you can look at and go back and go, you know, it was in that family and in this family, and just really identifying the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And so often that happens, and there's that victim mentality and then that abusive mentality that goes with that, right? Like one person they learn by being a victim to be an abuser.
Mhm.
And that can go on in family stories too, in many different ways. It can be verbal, it can be sexual, it can be physical, but it can be little tiny ways. Speaking over each other, not letting your voice be heard. So yeah, we were just talking about that backstage, and that happens a lot. For me, a huge way of learning about this and kind of working with it with my children has been to see them as divine beings having a human experience. And if there is something going on and I see them, instead of saying, "Oh, golly, you poor thing, look at what you're going through," I look at them and I see their light. I try to do this. It doesn't happen every minute of every day.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and I look at them and I see they are filled with light. They are a creator. They are, creating this opportunity for themselves and just giving them that light and loving them where they're at, regardless of what's going on. And a lot of times for me, energetically, that's uh, pushing light in through the back of the heart chakra. Sometimes it's the high heart chakra, and sometimes it's the heart chakra. Um, Oh, Lorraine, that's so beautiful, honey. I love that. Yeah, it's huge when we can use our voices because many of us lost our voices. So,
Right.
Darlene, hi. Is that your girlfriend?
No,
I know.
no.
Oh, oh, I love that then, even more.
I
Yeah, so it's really important to hear our children and to be heard and to let your voice be heard. Like for a long time after my husband died 10 years ago, I was like, my biggest goal on this planet was to keep my kids alive because at the same time that he passed, another family that was pretty close with our group, one of their children unfortunately committed suicide. It was really sad. And he had lost his mother a few years before. And I thought, okay, all I want to do is keep everybody alive and get through this because it was a traumatic event. And so that's what I looked at him like, oh, you poor things, And then when I learned to look at them as light beings, it changed the dynamics of the situation. It changed my dynamic of how I attach to this situation completely. But and then there's a lot of other ways that goes through. Like my family is also Jewish, even though I was raised Catholic, so Ashkenazi. And that manifests itself through scarcity. And a lot of us have that scarcity because our families grew up with scarcity. Our grandparents or our parents. And also with hoarding. Hoarding is a big thing
Mhm.
for a lot of Jewish people and for people all around the planet, I think, that have been through scarcity, that they they want to get as much stuff as they can. I don't know why, but I have to really watch myself. And if you saw my garage, you might go like, "Whoa, Teri!" I don't know, but really looking at that and trying to make sure that we're living presently in the moment, right?
Yeah, and there is something to be said about scarcity, and really I mean it's almost ingrained in our DNA that that fear of what if it happens again, so I have to have enough,
It
and
just doesn't. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I see it with my neighbor across the street. He's a very kind and very intelligent man, and he lives, I mean, this is how he lives somewhere else. He has got probably $1 million house, and I don't think you could walk through it. You can't get through, you can't get to his backyard, and even going up to his house, and he's got so much stuff. But if you went over and said, hey Tom, do you by chance have this? I mean, oh, he would dig for it until he found it to give it to you. I mean, he'd and so I he obviously, and I think he's mentioned to my husband that things were really scarce in, growing up, and how there it just gets passed on from generation to generation, um but identifying it, right? I mean, is it's like being able to see it. I don't quite think that he's able to see it. And but you already, you identified, like, there has been scarcity in my family, and you know and I know, I with food I'm kind of the same way. So I really think that there was scarcity somewhere down the line where we didn't have enough food, because I always want to make sure that we have ample food stocked up, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I cook, it's just like I've added Miracle Grow to it, because it just it just expands.
Yeah.
I start out just going, oh, it's just going to be just a little bit, and then all of a sudden I could feed half the town, and
That's interesting because I think we overcompensate in ways that because we didn't have things growing up.
mhm.
Lorraine says, my mom is 84 and her excuse is that her mother wasn't affectionate to her. I didn't allow her to use that excuse.
Good job, Lorraine.
All right. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I cook like that too, and I buy food like that too. One thing that has gotten me recently, oh, Kaylee had a community. Thank you. I love that. One thing that has helped me a lot lately is, well, number one, I've got a little booth at an antique mall, and I've been collecting for all my life. Well, the antique mall is closing. Thank you, God. That's a sign.
Yeah.
And or goddess. And now it's like I don't want to keep any more stuff. My kids don't want any more stuff. And it's like, what if something happens, right? What if we had to move? Like, what if the New Madrid fault went off and I'm in
Yeah.
the Midwest, and it wouldn't affect my house probably, but what if it affected something around me, and I wanted to move, and I might want to move, right? We never know where we're going to wind up. Would I want to take all this stuff with me? I don't think I would. I think I'd be very sparing about what I took.
And I'm with you in the same. It's like, I really, and I used to have a spot. Well, I used to own an antique shop, and then when we sold the building, then I rented a spot at an antique shop. And so I'm with you. I mean, our lives mirror so much. It's crazy, but I'm with you. I look at the stuff, and I think this, like, the generation of our kids, like you said, they don't need this stuff. They don't want it. And I really feel like we're getting into a simpler time where it's just, all that clutter just is just not needed anymore. It's more, personal relationships and time, and it's not stuff,
Right.
in the time that we're coming into. And I know for me, with the crud that went on in our family, I had to reach out to a therapist, and so there's no shame in the game, and so however it is, that you have to deal with it however you feel most comfortable. But I did have to see, and so surrounding yourself, like Kaylee said, with a community that is very supportive, friends or family that are aware of what's going on, and are trying to heal it too, that can be supportive. And then community too. But I know I did have to reach out for just for counseling, just to help give me some guidance to get through it. And um anyway, yeah, so that helped me. And eh, anything that you've done, Teri, that you think is beneficial?
Yeah, lots and lots of counseling. So
You
all
too.
kinds of different counselors, like, you know, um, all sorts of different modems of counseling and healing. And so emotional, spiritual, and physical too. I think a lot of times, and he says, I woke at 12:45, grappling with this thinking, how perfect on 6/6 portal day. I accept benevolent resources of having enough. We are fabulous manifestors.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry, I'm reading everything. I will
No,
stop.
I love that. I love it's our show together. So that's no, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. So a really important thing too is this stuff gets stuck in your body.
Mhm.
Now, if you're a guru and you are just aware of it and you have that power, which you guys are getting there, or if you're not already there, just being the awareness of it changes everything if you can stay in that presence. But if you're like me, you might get it stuck in some part of your body. And a lot of times we get it stuck in our psoas, which is the muscle that wraps around and kind of connects the lower half of your body to the upper half. It's right by the solar plexus, just south of there, around the hara, and shaking. There's somatic shaking that you can do to release, and I worked with somebody for a long time on that, and I had a lot to release, you guys. so so it's not always as sensitives and empaths. A lot of times we think, oh, I can just do this and it's done. Sometimes there's a little piece of it that's left somewhere.
Yeah, and that shaking, that is really, really good. And tuning forks, singing bowls,
Oh my God.
all of that to shift that energy, and transmute that crud, that DNA crud that has been stuck in our bodies from generations after generations. And the thing of it is when we realize that we see these ancestral cycles, and really make a promise to ourselves and to the universe that we're going to break them. We are doing such a service, not only to ourselves, but to our kids and the generations to come. And our ancestors, that have passed, are cheering us on. And so whatever progress it is that we're making, if how those baby steps, I mean, it's so important to celebrate them,
Yeah,
because those baby steps turn into huge steps.
they really do. Um, because as we go forward, we're not going to take this ego with us as far as like looking at things and thinking things in certain ways. Like we've kind of been programmed by society, we've been programmed by our geome, our physical form, and the energy on the planet. But as the energy shifts, we're free, we're kids, man. We're out there having fun and joy and living our best lives. And really when we wake up from the ego and the programming, it's like, why was I worried about that? Why was I thinking about that? Why did I want that stupid antique shop, or booth at the antique mall? So it's like, why did I want all this stuff? And the thing that I'm doing recently is, I watch all these shows on like moving to Italy or moving to Spain or moving anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Um, and when I look at them, I'm like, well, what would I take with me? Because it would be so expensive, number one, to ship anything. And number two, what I really care about here, a few art pieces, but that's about it. Paul, how's Disneyland? He's at Disneyland today with Lillian. Hi, Lillian.
Paul, I have been enjoying your updates, your California updates so much. I mean, I'm like a little kid, just like, oh my gosh, what are they doing today?
Right? Oh my God. Yeah.
And
Aw.
Anja is here.
Hi, Anya. Annie Verse says, I truly feel our ancestors help us and want us to succeed in healing ways. They are our biggest cheerleaders. 100%, Annie. I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so far behind in the chat, you guys.
Oh, it's okay. So I do feel like, as this happens, we might notice that we have, so I want to talk about Annie Bond for a minute.
Yeah, I would love that.
So she says, I speak out loud, making my commitment to acceptance physical in my voice. That's beautiful, honey. So, working with our birth parents, like, they were subject to what they went through, right? And
Mhm.
my family was, my dad went through the Depression, my mom went through the horrors of the Holocaust, and so they brought some stuff, we can say,
Oh yeah, they brought
easily.
some junk, right?
So, so that's cool, but then we're like, yeah, it does totally causes chronic and terminal disease, Kathleen. So when that comes together and they bring all that, then you might have like a wound, a mother wound or a father wound.
Yes.
And really looking at that and healing that while you're here on the planet. And we're doing it for us, and we're doing it for our future selves, and we're doing it for our descendants at the same time. And when you are healing that and you're working with that, it changes your lineage. It changes everything. So it's cool. And then of course our ancestors are huge about it too. But kind of looking at them and healing it with the divine feminine and the divine masculine and our higher consciousness or our universal minds. And that Trinity healing is huge. Yeah, The Mother Wound is a really good book, right, Julie? Yeah, 100%. So it's a lot. It's a lot to heal. Anyway, I would definitely recommend Annie Bond with that. If any of you guys want to, she's got a YouTube channel. She also has Awakening Prana, which is her website. And there's a lot of freebies on there that you can do in the morning, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's a nice little short meditation that you can do. Yeah.
I have to go through my dad's 10 by 30 storage locker this month. What I don't want, I can leave behind and they'll auction it off. Much better than having to deal with so much stuff. That's a lot, Janet.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Lots of love, Janet.
Yeah. My parents living in Denmark in German occupation.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. Yeah.
There is so much going on all around the planet, and there has been for centuries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many things.
I guess I'm somewhat selfish because I feel that we suffer as children should drive us to be sure our children do not suffer from the same, like learning from what we experienced. And that should be the incentive Right there, Lorraine. You're right. Is, we don't want to have any more suffering, in our lives and in our children's lives and in their children's lives, and so yeah. And thank you for sharing that, Andy Bond. I'm gonna check her out. And um journaling and automatic writing and channeling, sometimes if you're just not even really sure, sometimes just sitting down and writing, it will what needs to come out will come out. And sometimes that identifies the wound that we've had and carried with us from this lifetime. And sometimes it can even be past lifetimes too.
Yeah.
And you said something earlier about reprogramming, and really it's kind of deprogramming and then reprogramming the life that we want to live. And that's a huge task,
You think?
right?
Yeah. I feel like there's like we're given these opportunities right now. The pandemic was a huge opportunity. It was effing growth opportunities,
Yeah.
I like to say. But it was kind of like one of these times when we hit the wall. We're hitting the wall politically, perhaps right now. Lots of agents of change all around the world, trying to, push people back into being the worker bees and not thinking, oh, I think I want to travel, I think I want to live all over the world while I work, I want to have experiences and opportunities, and I don't really want that house and that car where I have to stay right there in that city. So these new kids,
Yeah.
they're really changing things up.
Yeah.
They're looking at things in a different way and than we did and than our parents did. Yeah. So it's really, really changing things and how we look at things. Oh, Kathleen, your grandparents escaped Nazi Germany. They had a lot of trauma to unpack and dispel. Yeah. Um,
That's
much
a
love
lot.
to you, Kathleen. Yeah, my
Yeah.
grandmother had the numbers on her wrist.
She
Wow.
did.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot to have gone through such horrors. Sometimes we wonder, like I think there was a thing for a long time that, oh, what did you do in your past life that you deserve that in this life, right?
Right.
That it was a karmic thing
Hmm.
that we had done something. But I think quite the opposite. It's that as light workers, when we come in here, we might have some really big resets or really big aha moments because we have really big jobs to do while we're here.
Huge.
Yeah, right?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
indeed, long suppressed history is bubbling up.
it is. It
Mhm.
is. And as a country, the United States has not made restitution. We have not made restitution for the indigenous tribes. We have not made restitution for the African Americans that came. We have not made restitution for the like Canada for the children, in the United States that were taken away from their families, to the Japanese. And now we're going to have to make restitution for all the immigrants and what we've done with that, right?
Right?
And separating the children, the families. So I think maybe part of that is an opportunity for us to look at it and say, that's not right. And it wasn't right the first time and the second time and the third and the fourth time that we did it either. Germany has made restitution. My grandmother did receive restitution. Not a lot, but some. And she was able to send my uncle to college with it, and to nice college. And she had a little stipend that she could live on for the rest of her life through that too. And they also have they teach it in their schools about the Holocaust, and they also teach it through the museums about the Holocaust. So they have really worked on that, and I feel like that's an important thing that we can do as a nation to make restitution. And
Oh, I think so too.
yeah,
I think so too. Denise said that her grandmother had the numbers on her arm too.
yeah,
is, yeah, sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
Lots of,
grandmother was a victim of Pratt-style boarding school. We
oh,
found the mass graves. Oh, Deanne, that's
yeah.
horrible.
Just horrible. Just horrible, the things that were done. So we are cleaning that mess up. We're like, we're coming in and we're helping so much. Yeah, pretending like it never happened before. And I think that's why when they are trying to whitewash history right now. Oh, honey. Yeah, Annie Bear. Build fires and drum, sing and cry and stand in my light.
I know.
100%. So when we recognize all this and they try to whitewash it with history, it's not going to happen on our watch.
It
And,
pisses
and
me
we
off.
don't have to, right. And we don't have to do anything but spread light, you guys. Like we can write to our people, but just our recognizing it and sending love, things are changing. Yeah, Indigenous people have a Holocaust story too, 100%, Deanne. 100.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Deanne. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there should be restitution.
There should.
It should be taught in all the schools. There should be museums made so that people can learn about it. Children can learn about it and see what happened and honor it, honor the grief. I think that grief is something that needs to be learned from and honored. And I get a little teary-eyed when I say that because I feel like there's so much grief on the planet, and grief can be sacred because it touches you in your heart space, and it's a space that we can really come from and come together.
Lisa says, huge. We knew by the age of 4 and had no instruction or information from our families or church except for hearing how Jesus loved and served anybody.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah. And it's, there's a lot of pain, right? That we've endured over generations and generations, that, identifying it and being able to heal it, and that whole, we have to feel it to heal it, is not always the funnest job to do, right? It's just, it's a lot, because it just seems like this human school that we're living, it's a lot. And to think that we signed up for this was a hard task that we all decided to come here to do. And you know what, guys, there's just days where if we're just being kind and shining our light and helping one another or lifting somebody's spirits, I mean, that too is healing, is healing one another and healing the planet and the whole collective. I mean, that's a huge service in itself. And I mean, in a task in its own, some days when a person's feeling low or down, just to keep shining that light can be a lot.
Yeah. There's always going to be a day that one of us is going to have that's off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honor that for yourself, and find your curiosity about it. What am I feeling and why? Where am I connecting to this? In my heart, in my solar plexus, in my Earth Star chakra, even. Is it for the mother? So where are you connecting to it? But just know that, like you said, Kelly, holding light, holding space on your little street corner, wherever you live, is a gift. And we are the light keepers. Yes. And this is what we do. And we hold that light down, and we change the frequency of the planet with that light. So
high five to that. Yes.
Right? Yes. So as we change the light and the frequency of the planet, and particularly with your meditations, however you meditate, whether it's going for walks or dancing or whatever you're doing, or sitting in silence or journaling, art, and holding your light changes the frequency of the planet. And if you change the frequency of the planet, and your lineage, you change the frequency of the universe.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. With all of that, I have a couple affirmations, and then if you guys have any questions for Teri and I, we have about 20 minutes that we can answer any questions that you have, and then I'm just going to quickly just share these couple affirmations that I thought were kind of powerful, and if they resonate with you, you can write them down. If not, I just thought that there's going to be somebody out there that's going to maybe need this. The first one is, I am the cycle breaker. I honor my ancestors by choosing a new path. I release all patterns, habits, and cycles with love, strength, and gratitude, and so it is. Next one is, I am the sacred vessel through which ancestral cycles, patterns, habits, and pain is transmuted into light. I walk in the divine alignment, healing not just myself, but 7 generations before and after, and so it is. And this is the last one. I renounce and break every generational cycle curse that has come through my bloodline, spoken or unspoken, known or unknown. I cancel all negative darkness, addiction, poverty, sickness, mental health, physical abuse, and I ask that these cycles stop within me in generations to come, and so it is. And so, yeah, there's a few affirmations that if you're working hard on trying to break them, that it might be helpful.
Those are so beautiful, Kelly. Are you going to make posts on those, or have you already on your
I
channel?
haven't. No, I
Yeah,
should.
those would be beautiful cards. I'm just going to read one of the posts that I did this morning. I did a lot of channeling last night and going deep within the earth, and they were really showing me the whale and their song and how that's changing everything. The forest breathing again, also us opening our hearts, but it wasn't just the forest, it were the trees talking to the Sasquatch, how they were coming together and how they interacted. Like I could feel their heart and their space, and it was so beautiful. So this is what I got. It's every day somewhere on earth, kindness blooms quietly. A child laughs, a whale sings, a forest breathes again. I open my heart to receive the goodness. I celebrate the light. I am part of the joy that's rising.
Love that. Love it.
Yeah, it's galactic whales are helping us 100%. Well, the inner earth people are the galactics. We're a planet. So, yeah, we're definitely, inner earth is totally our future selves and our past selves. So, yeah, love that, Annie. That's so beautiful.
She says, it is why I feel the sun's energy codes at night. I feel them at night, and I feel them, the sun's energy codes during the day too. And even the water has so many codes that the whales are in too, right?
Huge. And the deep crevasses of the water, there are giants there that live there, and their eyes are awakening, they're opening, and they're connecting to us. And it's like we're awakening to them. They've been awake, but all of a sudden they're like, their eyes open up and they're like, well, hello.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're welcoming this new awakening for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
I just, and I'm trying to get used to this, you guys, so bear with me. I'm just going to tell you, I only have 2 questions starred. Lorraine, I have yours, and Kaylee, I have yours. So if there's somebody that did post that they wanted a reading, and I missed you, maybe just put it in caps so that that this old lady can see it. And so, but I do have yours, Lorraine, and I do have yours, Kaylee, too. Alrighty. Teri, can you please tell me about what change I am basing?
They're showing me you at a big crossroads, Lorraine. Like, here you go. And you're kind of right in the middle. The good thing about being at a crossroads is that you can look around and really see things. It's like the in-between. You can see all the different modes, all the different ways. So it's just you being aware of that, Lorraine, is like a beautiful spot to be in, the in-between, because I do feel like the in-between is the space of witnessing awareness that we're all headed into, and the way to create things. So you have free will, and you can go any way you want, but I'll pull some cards on it.
Lorraine, I'm getting that it's really right now what I'm seeing, and I'll show you the cards, is that it's really important for you to really take care of Lorraine right now, and give yourself grace, and just give yourself the comforts of the things that you enjoy. And I get that this is going to really lift your vibration and frequency. And then the card that I pulled is called the Great Gathering.
Ooh.
And it says it's all coming together, intuitive hits. And so I think it would be really important for you to journal and meditate and just quiet the mind down, because I get that you are going to your angels and your guides are around you. They are protecting you like crazy, but they're going to be giving you insight and messages. And so just sometimes we just really have to slow down and take care of ourselves and quiet our minds in order to hear them. And the reason I said, just to really give yourself grace, is I pulled the Star Mother card.
Oh.
And it says, how can you mother yourself? And so, we sometimes get so caught up on taking care of others and everybody around us that we sometimes just forget to hug on ourselves and love on ourselves some more. And then, and the whole intuition thing, this card has become aware and listen to the wisdom of your body. And so I really think that once you quiet down and really start really honing in on Lorraine, you're gonna start getting the messages and clear insight, and just giving your body a reset and recharge, I think would be really good.
Yeah. She says, I'm worried because I never want to have to move. I've said I will not leave here alive. So, so I hear that from my sister, that her next move, she'll never make another one. And it's, you've got a long way to go, kiddo. I think that don't put that limitation on yourself. So if you're living in abundance, the world is your oyster. And that's more easily said than done, I know, but there might be some amazing opportunities for you out there. Something is going on with the vultures lingering here, she's saying. So, yeah, so you can look at it that way too. I feel like if you're living in your freedom, and this is the card that I pulled for you, freedom. So, and this woman has all these beautiful children around her and living in her joy. So, you want to live a long time now that I've awakened. I only want to live here. Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. Yeah. And in the now, you want to live in the now because that's the perfect spot to live in, right? But I do feel like be open to moving because you are right at a cross point. It's like you are at the star. You are the center right here. This is you, Lorraine. You can go any which way you want. What is that song, Any Which Way? Anyway, so I do feel like there'll be some dreams. And this might be the place where you dreamt to be. And lots of harmony coming in. Like, do you like music, Lorraine? So I don't know what that harmony is. That can be harmony with your angels, with your lights, but that can also be harmony with music and finding what you love, what brings you joy. Yeah. Yeah, feel free and happy. I love that, Lorraine. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at just the perfect spot then. You're at that witnessing awareness spot and been playing music daily. Yeah. Yeah, you got it, kid. You're amazing.
I start the questions, and I'm hoping that we can get to everybody, but I'm seeing that we're almost 15 minutes from the hour. But so we're gonna do our best.
Yeah.
Question. My great grandmother was diagnosed with mental health issues, schizophrenic, in the 1930s and 40s. Was it actually intuitive abilities? Would just love confirmation or thoughts on it.
Kaylee,
I love this.
I do too. If you're still here, Kaylee, can you give us her name?
Mabel.
Mm-hmm. She's telling me she had a different view of the world. And she kind of has Lorraine's thing, or she does have Lorraine's thing. She had that cross in the center. She said, I saw too much. They didn't understand what I knew, what I saw, what I heard. And because of her name, the Mabel, there's also something with the tree lineage. So, and the trees are giants, right? And they're alive. And it feels like she was really connected to the earth. I don't know if she was indigenous or what her energy was with the earth, if she was Wiccan, like my mom was Wiccan, and she had a lot to do with the plants. So, but I feel like they just didn't know what to make of her. But yeah, you get a lot of your stuff from her, she's saying.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. What Teri just said, that you are getting a lot of your intuition and your abilities, and she said it was the time, that I lived in, and she said I was misunderstood.
Yeah.
And she wants you to be able to, she's with you, guiding you and helping you, and really encouraging you, Kaylee, to just to come out and show your gifts to the world. Because I heard her say there's no need to hide, honey. And so she's really around you and helping you. And it was, she did have amazing intuition and insight and psychic abilities, but she said I was misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that when you said that when you said she was with you, Kaylee, I could feel her, and I could feel her having a blast. Like you're getting a lot of similar things that Lorraine did. And Lorraine had that angel that was playing with all the other angels, Freedom. And she's like, she's so excited. Yeah, grinning from ear to ear, exactly, Annie. That's her, man. She's having a blast watching it.
Thank you, Kaylee, and you just keep shining because she's pushing you. She's pushing you to use your abilities and not hide behind anybody else. That you are the star.
Oh,
Okay. I have a mother wound that I'm having a hard time healing. Any guidance and thanks, Auntie D. Absolutely.
Auntie G, with a mother wound, I'd always suggest working with your root chakra and your earth star chakra. With that mother wound, you might be having like scarcity feelings or fright, fight or flight. So working with that and being held, like allow your angels to hold you at night. Buy yourself a blanket and swaddle yourself, a really soft one. That'll help. The other thing that I'm going to recommend is Annie Bonds. It's amazing with that. And sometimes what happens with that mother wound is your root chakra will have a slash in it. Now, Kelly is amazing at working with things like this.
Oh,
No, you are. So if you have a slash, like if you get things done, but you're always exhausted and you're like, how do other people make it look so easy? Even though you're doing it and you've got intuition and you're on your roll. So that's a sign of having a slash in your root chakra. So somebody like Kelly, somebody like Annie Bond.
I'm getting Auntie D too that that you really could really just use clearing an energy clearing. And thank you, Teri, for that recommendation. And
Yeah.
you can do it yourself too. And you can find I think I have videos on it. Teri probably even has videos on it. There's probably other ones on YouTube too. But it's really and you can call in Archangel Ref Michael with his sword to really go in and cut those cords and clear that energy. And you can also do it with with sage. But I do feel like it needs to be more than just like a smoke clearing, that there's so much there that you really need to clear that energy. I'm also getting that just being around the people in this soul community is really, really going to be healing and good for you too. And I did pull a couple cards and I got the crumbling, and it's kind of like the Tower card. So sometimes we just have to let everything go in order to heal. And so the question is what are you clinging to? And so and it goes to that saying that I always say, we have to feel to heal. And so getting out the paper again and writing the wounds, the hurts, and you can literally list them individually on the paper on how you've been hurt and the pain that the individual people have caused you, and then burn it. And then I got the mirror, and it says, what's triggering? And so our triggers, I mean, I'm not even going to lie. They stink. It stinks when we're triggered, right? It really stinks, but they really are blessings because it shows us where we need to heal. And so just keeping track of those triggers, Auntie D, is going to give you some insight on what areas of your life that need to be healed too.
Yeah. I love that you said that. And I love that you said about the triggers and the healing of writing the story. And another little thing that you can do on writing that story, Auntie D, is you can change the story. If you were abused or if you were a victim, same thing. So even if it was just, abusive behavior, and that's not a gist, sorry, but looking at that and rewriting it, like my mom did that because she was, and you can call her any name you want or anybody else, right? And she didn't know what she was doing. And then change it. And now I am so grown and I am so wise beyond my years, and I'm just amazing. And that changes everything when you change the energy around that, and that gives you a metamorphosis. So that little girl that's holding in that space, and she looks like she's inside her mother too. She's in the womb. Yeah.
That is
So
beautiful, Teri.
isn't that beautiful? I love that
Yeah.
word. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
That is beautiful. So hopefully that helps, Auntie D. Wildflower Wind. Hello. Can you read in what kind of person I am? I try to be kind. What do I need to work on?
Okay, the first thing I'm going to say about this wildflower wind is Kali and Durga are coming in. Durga is the mother of the universe, but she is also a bitch when she needs to be. She slayed demons to save the universe because the men couldn't. Okay, long story short. Anyway, in Kali, which is an aspect of Durga Ma, and Kali is kind of scary to some people, like kind of like Sekhmet would be, or Isis. So just kind of looking at those archetypes. You don't always have to be kind. You can be kind to yourself and you can show kindness and empathy to people. But there are times when you can go in your car and use a sacred rage scream and let it out. So don't feel like you need to hang on to that. And sometimes we do as women, right? We're taught never even think about saying what you really think, or just, yeah. And of course we never want to start a fight or anything like that. But okay, so you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. Thank you. I first card I pulled is transformation. And so this is huge. And you know what? You are a kind person. And sometimes that's all we need to be is kind. And
Yeah.
like Teri said, there's days where, you know what, we maybe don't feel so kind, and that's okay too, and not to feel guilty. Because I'll be the first one to admit, I mean, I have bad days, but I've gotten to the point in my life where if I'm feeling like really ornery and snarky, I will tell the people in the house, I'm like, hey, I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm feeling ornery and I'm feeling snarky, and I'm going to do my best to mind my words, but I'm having a day. And so, it's impossible to be, on their game 24/7. And so you are going through a transformation and a deep healing. And what the next card I pulled was boundaries. And so sometimes when we're kind to others, it can be a lot. And that whole don't how does the phrase go? Don't think of my kindness as weakness. Where some people will prey on the kindness. And so if you feel like there's not an even exchange of energy going on with the people around you, I would say the boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So, is it work, friends, what have you? And also drama. If there's people in your life that tend to bring drama in, that would be a good red flag right there to say, you know what, I need to put up better boundaries with that person. And not that you don't have to spend time with them, but you can just limit your time with them, and maybe and not feel like you have to answer every text or every phone call. that too is a boundary. But I get that you're going to be going through a transformation that is really healing, and that there's changes coming in, and yeah, just and really take care of yourself, because shining your light and being kind, that's a job in itself. So giving that kindness back to yourself is a huge gift you could give to yourself.
Yeah, she says, I can be quite blunt too. Pull up that second card that you had, because I love that.
The boundaries.
Yeah. So I see those hands reaching out. I see you working with the wind, like that wildflower wind. That you're changing things. You're making a metamorphosis. And your first card was change or metamorphosis, wasn't it? Or something similar.
Yeah. Yep. It was transformation. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I got again too for you, wildflower wind, that you're going through a big change. This could be your past, this discomfort, because this feels like a mother wound again. And maybe this is just for the group, because we're all talking about that mother wound in our earth chakra, the healing that we're having right there. So, but you've got a fire in you too, which I kind of love to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is good.
Yeah, I'm interested in what you're working with the wind on, wildflower. Interesting.
I'm wondering if I'm on the right track in healing myself. Could I have a reading on that, please? And thank you.
Kathleen, are you sailing? And that could be a metaphor, but this is what they brought in for you today. Whoops, sorry, that was another pen. So there's the pyramid, and there's the light at the top of the pyramid, which brings in maybe the raw collective or Arcturian energy. And then there's the anvil underneath it, all sacred design, but it kind of turned into a ship. So it feels like you're on your way. I'm looking at your picture and the aura around your hair in the picture, and it feels like you got a lot of light coming in, Kathleen, and probably that you're on a flow, and perhaps you were in Egypt during those times as a healer, because I feel like this Egyptian or Arcturian or raw energy around you is huge.
Kathleen, I'm getting that you are on the right track, that you are healing those ancestral cycles, and you're healing those childhood wounds, and that you are you are on the right path. The card I pulled is birthing a new age.
Oh, wow.
And it says birthing new creations, dreaming of a new world into being. And I get that's you, and the thing to remember is when we heal ourselves, we heal the people around us and the world too. And so this is just your confirmation in that you are, it's a huge task, and you are doing it, and you are on track. And the next card I get is speaking kindness. And so become aware of how you speak to yourself. And that too is a part of our healing journey, because, a lot of times, and, and I can speak for myself, there's sometimes I'll say things about myself that I would never in a million years say to anybody, not even my worst enemy. And I'm getting better at it, but there too, it's just another tip to and reminder that we really have to be aware of how we talk to ourselves, that words manifest. And so and then I got to celebrate, when we are doing this healing work, it's it's a lot. And to take time and celebrate and your accomplishments, no matter how big, small, whatever it is that you want to treat yourself, if it's flowers, a pedicure, a manicure, if it's just a quiet day, if it's whatever it is, just lounging in your pajamas, I mean, is sometimes a treat. So cultivate an air of celebration today. So they said it's time to celebrate. So honor yourself and just, yeah, be kind and gentle with yourself too.
Yeah, she says, "Thank you. I am crying. I feel I was a doctor in a previous life. That is why I incarnated to do this healing. I'm hard on myself." Yeah, we do that. Um, we talk to ourselves in horrible ways.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I love to celebrate, dance with it. Yeah, but that light around you comes through into this lifetime. You walked into this lifetime as a healer, Kathleen.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
you're doing a wonderful, wonderful job.
yeah. We're all right where we're supposed to be, don't you think?
Always,
Yep.
always. I really do. But I think we always, because we have hopes and dreams and goals and intentions,
Mhm.
that are also so important, so we're always wanting to be further than what we are, but really we're always, always, always on the path that we were meant to be on.
Yeah.
And it just sometimes doesn't feel like we are, but um, do we have time for one more?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, Liza.
Liza, I feel awkward asking, but I miss my grandmother so much. I'd love to hear anything. She was my friend in other lifetimes. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, Liza, what's her first name, honey?
Betty.
Hmm. Um, she's asking me if you still have something that belonged to her. I think it's a necklace because she's showing me pearls or beads. Um, she's right on top of you, like she is with you all the time. Oh, there it is, right here. It's not very dark, but that's her above you, like on your crown chakra. You called her Mama, part Cherokee. Um, Maybe they were turquoise beads, but there's something that you have. This could also be your throat chakra, that you know how to sing things into life, or you know how to. Yeah, and she's saying it is something about the singing. So you have a singing way with your voice. Does that make sense, Liza? Go ahead, honey. No, I'm going to finish drawing this. Yes, her prayer beads and a St. Francis medal. Yes, they sing all the time. Yeah, yeah. So this is her. She's kind of like your Skywalker, okay, or Spirit Walker, you might call her. She's a grandmother, and she comes in and she's weaving things, and this is you, right here, Liza. Like you have her beads, you have her energy, her way of being. You also have her hair. And when Spirit shows me the hair, it means, uh-oh, anybody else here? When the Spirit shows me, oh, it's Kelly. Hello? Am I off? Oh, we are? Oh, I've got that I'm still on, that I'm live. I've got Kelly on the line, everybody, because it says live and the time is still running.
Well, that's interesting because I don't see anything on my end.
Okay, go out and come back in because you have to be here or it'll keep running.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will try that.
Okay, honey. Bye. Lorraine's saying I'm live. That's okay. So this is her, Liza. And she is right above you. Like she has her cheek on the top of your head. It's so kind. It's just a beautiful thing. But she's coming in and she has all sorts of energy around you. And when spirit shows me, particularly grandmother spirits and indigenous spirits, the hair is another form of energy. Each hair on your head is a form of energy on the other side, like it's a tendril of light. And a lot of times what they're showing me lately is that each fingertip has a tendril of light. We can send it to Father Sky, we can send it to the mother. And this energy coming in that she brings you, you have learned from her. So Betty, yeah. So anyway, so it's really a beautiful energy, honey. And I think Kelly will be back in a minute, but we'll see if she can get back in or not. If not, I'll just be here talking to you. So, Play Love Remember says, we are very powerful, I heard. Do you know how powerful you are? You are very powerful. I heard loud and clear. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Liza, if you can't see it on Kelly's side, then it's still here on mine. So come to my channel, anybody. Yeah. Oh, that's what's going on. Okay. So it's your scalp is wounded and all my hair had to be removed to heal. Accurate reading. No wonder she made such an important thing about the hair. I want to show you something that I channeled last night. One of them is the kin to Ma, the Sasquatch beings, kind, shy, deeply sensual, earth stewards with deep psychic sensitivity and galactic memory. They're very hairy, right? That hair makes them so sensitive. It's a reason why they are so shy. It's a reason why they're so kind. So it's a beautiful energy around them. There's also another one, the tree people, the earth dragons, the well sun carriers, the Chirula. Oh, okay. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. This is who they are. This is the ones that I love. The Lumora, the grandmothers of the weave, ethereal matriarchs who braid light, hum soul melodies, and stitch time across the generations. And that is part of this hair, is that weaving. And that's the grandmother's weaving. So, and Lisa's saying that was Manna, kind, shy, earth healer, tree person. Yeah. So there's all this stuff coming in, you guys. It's just amazing. And the tree people came in, the Eluvaran, the tree people. Eluvaran, there they are. The tree people, light musicians of the forest, friends of the Sasquatch, playing harps and weaving energy with lutes and song. So they were still weavers, but they wove with the music. And they are the friends of the Sasquatch because the Sasquatch can lean into them and the Sasquatch can hide inside them. So anyway, really amazing. Okay, Lorraine's asking, Teri, is there a being or ET that associates with red or orange red? Yeah, there's a lot of them that associate with red. There's dragons that associate with red. Even though the Octurians primarily show up as black and blue, that beautiful cobalt blue, they're saying that they work with the red as well. And there's many other beings that associate with the red. So it's a big universe, and it's a multiverse on top of that. So there are going to be the red ones that come in, but there is okay. So there's the red dragons that come in, and they also come in with Kali. And Kali is a shapeshifter. She can become a dragon. And she works with a certain group. So I would look at that and who they are. Nobody's coming in right now on that for me with a name. But that's common that I wouldn't know it. I will be on tomorrow with Dr. Gail, and I can't remember if it's Solaris Healing or if it's going to be something else, but it's something like that. Yeah, you've had major experiences with this red glow. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Oh, thank you, Paul. I will have an amazing time. Yeah, come tomorrow with Dr. Gail. It'll be amazing. Let's see. Well, I can see if I leave the studio if it stops, but I